Hi, my name is Ruth Dube. I am a black lesbian with a microphone and something to say. And today I have something to say about lesbian uhauling. Instead of purely criticizing uhauling, emotional uhauling, enmeshment, the lesbian urge to merge, I think we should first look at its history, why it came to be, why it's always the butt of every joke, why lesbians are always the butt of every joke, and maybe we can come to some kind of conclusion about whether or not it's healthy, whether or not it's something you want to do. Maybe we just want to have a conversation, which is also a cat. A cat. After going through a myriad of articles, I found that U-hauling can be traced as far back in lesbian history as the 1950s, probably further, but I couldn't really find anything concrete on that. And also, why is the 1950s such a I don't know, are we on the same streets of Tumblr? 1950s seem to be a very romanticized era for lesbians on Tumblr, which I'm not sure why, because for anyone marginalized, the 50, like, you know what I mean? When people are like, take me back, like, unless you're a white cis man, there's not, who's heterosexual, there's nothing for you in the 50s. So I don't know why we're romanticizing that. I mean, look, there is some fan fiction there is some fan fiction on there, and in that sense I kind of understand, but there are people who are genuinely like, that's a whole other conversation, actually. I think I should save that for a different video. There are a lot of reasons that people would have U-hauled in the 1950s, but some of the main reasons included finances and safety. So after being outed, or maybe they were seen on the streets with a woman or a flinter, or maybe they were being intimate somewhere that wasn't safe to be intimate, a lot of people had their safety jeopardized in their own homes and had to leave. And instead of living on the streets, they lived with their lesbian partners, which makes the most sense because that's someone you're safe with or that you're supposed to feel safe with. Some people were also dodging marriages. I can imagine that a lot of people, listen, if I was drafted to a marriage, a heterosexual marriage in the 1950s, I too would be getting in a fast car with a ticket to goddamn anywhere. The job market then, and also Loki kind of now, was not really the most friendly to a lot of lesbians, especially gender non-conforming lesbians. I also wanted to add here a little bit more on the job market not being friendly to lesbians and gender non-conforming people. In the research I found in the US, only 29% of women could find work outside of the home. And when they did, obviously they were paid a lot less than men who were either their counterparts or that they were working under. Gender non-conforming lesbians also found it extremely difficult to find work because the jobs that did allow women to work there often required a standard feminine presentation of womanhood, which they were not comfortable doing. So a lot of GNC lesbians found work in blue-collar jobs, which was also kind of dangerous because there have been a lot of reports of gender non-conforming lesbians and masculine women facing discrimination and violence in blue-collar industries. In the 1950s in South Africa, we were still under apartheid law. So a lot of black lesbians were very much focused on ending apartheid and didn't quite have time to focus on their sexuality. When they did, a lot of lesbians lived out and proud. However, the consequences of that pride were great, and a lot of lesbians suffered grim fates at the hand of the heteropatriarchal society that denied them the freedom to live with their girlfriends and their lovers and their people. I would love to do a video on the history of lesbians in South Africa in the 1950s, which I think I will do. But for now, we're just going to focus on the fact that the job market was not friendly to lesbians. And for the rest of the video, it kind of goes into the modern day critiquing of U-hauling, why it's done, etc. So I think if we're going to talk about the act of U-hauling, which we have, we're going to have to take it back a few steps and ask why and how people get there and why they do it so quickly. So I think, just so that we're all on the same page about what I mean with U-hauling, it's not necessarily just moving in with your partner. It's doing it at a pace where it's like, I hired a moving truck, I met you yesterday, and now we're moving in today. That's very, very hyperbolic. It could be a few months. It honestly depends on the kind of timeline you see as normal, or a timeline that you're used to for relationships. For me, I used to be very much 3 months in, we're serious, we're dating, we're together, we love each other, it's good, we're down bad. I have done that before. For me, as chaotic as the relationship started, that is how chaotic it ended. The relationship that I'm in now has been a very slow burn. And I think the relationship I'm in now has been a very slow burn. Um, fuck, lost my train of thought. The I love my partner. Okay. The relationship I'm in now has taught me that uhauling was maybe not the thing I needed to do, and I tried to figure out why that was necessary, and maybe that's partly why I'm making this video. It's kind of like an internal it's kind of like an internal psychological study because I'm like, why did you do that, girl? And I think one of the main reasons is that relationships were my primary goal. And I think for a lot of lesbians, we don't view, or I, I didn't view lesbianism as something that included community and lifestyle. I saw it solely as the person that I want to be with. And while that makes sense for a lot of people, and I think if you want to be like definitively what is a lesbian, comes down to the person you want to be with, right? And that's fine. But I think relationships being the primary goal of a lot of lesbians' lives when they imagine and dream of like a free lesbian life where they're practicing being themselves and live out in the world and are happy with how they present. A lot of them, the first thing that they imagine is being in a relationship, not necessarily acquiring lesbian friends and educating yourself in the community. It's always like, I want a girlfriend or a lesbian boyfriend, both of which are fine and perfectly fine to want. I completely, again, understand that. But I think when we reduce the lesbian experience purely to, I want to be with this person, we limit ourselves so much to how expansive the community can be, how expansive you are as a person, as a lesbian, the more that you learn and engage with other lesbians without the context of wanting to be in a relationship with them. And this is coming from someone who was exactly like that. Does it not seem or sound or look to you like the incentives we get from capitalist companies, like work hard so you can spoil your girlfriend, do this and contribute to the system, wake up, grindset mindset, so you can stay in bed with your baby? Like they're putting at the end of it the incentive of being in a lesbian relationship, but it's the same cycle and it's the same repeated like propaganda of you need to work hard so that the capitalist system succeeds within you. You are like a good member of society, your relationship is valuable, like you're valuable. Maybe this is just me doing an internal psychological study, or maybe you relate to it, but I do feel like I've been seeing a lot more videos of people being interested in like building their empires and changing their lives and gaining more money, and that's okay. But in the time that, like, if we're reading the room, if we're looking around at the time that we're living in the hyper capitalist state, like, doesn't it seem scary that they're kind of enlisting gay help low key? Like, they're like, gays should also be capitalists so you can spoil your partner. Capitalism has no gender preference. Just spend your money. It's like, and I'm pretty sure it is a thing, pinkwashing capitalism, where they make it seem they make it seem appealing to gay people so that we're not interested in divesting and creating our own new economy or creating our own new world or whatever someone more educated would say about what we should do with the economy as lesbians and gay people instead of capitalism. We're interested in being capitalist again. What is the lesbian urge to merge? It can be described as a sort of symbiosis that develops between two lesbians where they relate so much to each other, they have similar interests. It's like things are going so well. It's kind of the emotional u-hauling, like the medical word. I don't think it's a medical word. The medical word for emotional u-hauling, the lesbian urge to merge. And I first heard about this on the L word, history. I heard about this on the History Channel, and I was like, hey, stop. That's me. So, a lot of these deep attachments are either formed on the basis of familiarity, whether that is identity, shared beliefs, or shared and common experiences, common interests, and also, I think, the fantasy of a relationship. A lot of the merging happens in the beginning when you're projecting your needs and wants and your desires onto this person. You're finding a mirror inside of them because you want to see yourself, or you're celebrating parts of them that you want to see in yourself. So instead of doing that for yourself, you're doing that for someone else, which is nice. It's nice. So yeah, being in that relationship is like, it's freedom. I'm gonna be seen. I'm gonna be loved. It's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna be hot-blooded and young and lustful and lesbian and yes. And it obviously seems like such a good thing to get into and to do, but you end up being in a relationship with someone that you don't really know. And this has happened to me. This has happened to me. And if it's happened to you, then you probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. But that urge to merge, that urge to just get inside their skin, like as quick as possible. The first day you meet, it's like, bam, want it, need it, gotta have it now, mine forever, which is also fine. For some people, they do it and it works out and it's perfect. For me, ripped to my heart. That was rough. That was really, really tough. It was really, really rough and tough. But I was also playing around a lot, guys. Yo, I was in so why was I doing all of that? Like I was just dating, like I again I was desperate. I was. And I think that's where a lot of the emotional U-hauling lesbian urging to merge came from. Like I was developing the connections deep as deep because I was like, I'm not interested in I want a girlfriend. I want a girlfriend. And I think the way that I disregarded other relationships that could have been friendships, did I? I don't know. I whatever. The way that I did do that though, probably wasn't no bueno. So sorry to y'all if that had my bad. We're growing, we're learning, it happens. Like I'm not judging anyone. I'm not making this video to judge anyone. I'm you. That's why I'm saying a lot of this video is a self psychological investigation. Like I'm just looking at what the hell I was doing and what the hell I was on all those years ago. It's like 2 years ago. And I think what happens is that you then run the risk of being like, oh, okay, so like, what if they don't really meet my standards that much? It's okay. Like, it's okay. They meet most of my standards. And like, so what if I lowered my standards to, date them? It doesn't, it's okay. And like, what if I fight with them all the time? It's fine. What if they irritate me? That's okay. What if I don't really like them? That's fine too. I got to be in this relationship. I wanted a girlfriend. Like, it's crazy talk. Can you tell that I'm like disillusioned by Can you tell that I'm disillusioned by whirlwind romances? Like, I don't find that interesting at all. I think it's just because of how of how traumatized I am by them. But something slow burn is a lot. Am I old? Oh fuck. Something slow burn is a lot more my pace. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because for me personally, I was using it as an emotional crutch all the time, all the time, all the time. Emotions, emotions, wanted it bad. I couldn't self regulate, couldn't do anything myself. Started projecting everything on my partner. My partner started projecting everything on me. And then one night you find yourself in bed, crying yourself to sleep, and they're lying right next to you, and they don't turn over and they don't hug you, and you just fall asleep like that. I'm just saying, I think it's worth investigating. Thank you. Thank you if you watched it all the way. If you watched it all the way. If you have been my subscriber before, thank you so much. If you're watching this and you subscribe, that's insane. You knew me so many moons ago, and it's so amazing that you're here still. If you are, thank you so much for doing that. If you unsubscribe to me, you won't perish, but it won't be good. And if you try to put that on me, I'm put no, no, you can't put it on me. You have to subscribe for good luck now. You can't put any, I don't claim any negative energy from you. I have been Ruth, a black lesbian with a mic and something to say. And I hope to see you in a video that is the next one. I hope to the next video. Thank you. And